Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Praise Cafe TV show. I am your host, Robert Brock, with one of Charlotte's best kept secret, Miss Cassandra O'Neal. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Robert, for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm so excited that you are here. The funny thing is, I met you. I heard you before I met you, and I'll come back to that statement in a little while.
Okay, now you got me on eggshells.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely. So I know that you are here. Can you tell me? I know you've been singing a while. Your resume is really impressive, international, by the way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So give me some of the names that you've sung with.
Oh, wow. I came out as an artist in 2011, and so one of the first ones that I had the opportunity to actually open up for was Israel Houghton.
Oh wow.
I won't ever forget that day.
Wow.
And then I've been featured with James Fortune, J.J. Harrison. It's a lot of people.
Wow.
And just to be able to do what God has called me to do and what I love doing, that's the thing. What I love to do and be able to do it with some of these names. I got my start in music with Pastor John P. Keith.
Oh wow. I didn't know that.
While back.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, when he had the Inner City Mass Choir and a New Life as well. I actually wrote my first song when he held a night where he was talking about songwriting, and I was like, I can try this. And using the tips that he gave, I was able to actually pen my very first song.
Wow, great. And you've just been going since. Okay, now you do worship leading at, is it Nations Forward?
Well, Nations Forward, that's my home church.
Okay.
And I do give shout out to Bishop Philip Davis and Pastor Cynthia Davis. I am working as a worship, well, actually, no. I started at the church in July, helping out in their worship ministry.
Okay.
They found out about me because I do work as a worship consultant.
Got it.
So it's Camino Church at the Way,
Got
which
it.
is a multi-ethnic church. There's black, there's white, Hispanic, French, Jamaican, India. And we're all there together.
Right.
And one of the core values of the church is we make soup, not salad.
Okay.
Salad, you mix everything up, and some of the flavors get lost in the mix. But with soup, everything holds its own flavor.
Wow.
And so, as a church with the Hispanic and the African American and the Caucasian and the French and Jamaican, when we're all coming together, it adds flavor to the whole mix,
Right.
and nothing gets lost.
Wow. Now, it's funny you said that, because one of the questions I do love to ask singers and preachers is, this is early in the interview for us, but I'm going to ask, when that you said that you have a variety of ethnicities at your church. What do you think is the church's greatest challenge today?
Is being able to provide something for everybody. Try to meet everybody's needs. I think at Camino Church at the Way we do a pretty good job, because we not only have the different ethnicities, we have the different age groups and generations. So a typical Sunday, we may do the contemporary Israel Houghton, then we're also singing in Spanish also. So we're singing very familiar songs, easy for the congregation in English and Spanish, and then we'll tack on a part of an old hymn, and we pull in our senior adults. And so I think the challenge for most churches is being able to do that effectively. And I've seen where some churches are trying and maybe trying too hard, because you're trying to give something for everybody every Sunday, and it's just not going to happen. But when you understand one another, that, okay, this Sunday we did not have the hymn, I can look forward to it next Sunday. Or the younger people are saying, it seems like they were singing more hymns today. I want the contemporary. I just think as the churches begin to trust and get to know one another, that's the thing. Understanding who we have, who we are, then we'll be able to do what we do.
Got it. Now, you said you were a worship consultant.
Yes.
That's the first time I've actually heard that term. So I'm going to ask you, for those that are watching as well, because I think a lot of people get lost in that word. What is worship?
Well, worship itself, it stems from a relationship with God. It's different from praise, which I know you've gone to any worship conferences or seminars, they'll tell you the difference between worship and praise. Well, worship itself, again, is a relationship. It's a personal thing. One thing I want everybody to know and understand, it has nothing to do with music. It has nothing to do with singing. Worship is knowing who God is and what he's worthy of.
Right.
He's worthy of you verbally saying to him, God, I thank you that you're God.
Got it.
You don't even have to rattle off what he's done,
Got it.
who he is.
Got
You're
it.
my healer.
Mm-hmm.
You're my God.
So
you're my
speaking
Savior.
well of him.
You're my friend.
Absolutely.
Yes, you're mounting up praise on him.
Mhm.
You're lavishing him
Right.
with love. As a worship consultant to help churches and
Mhm.
praise teams, choirs get an understanding of what it is.
Mhm.
That's what the worship consultant
Got it,
comes in.
got it.
So I take the praise teams beyond just singing on Sunday morning
Got it.
or being that feeler
Mm-hmm.
before the preach word, the
Right.
word is preached, or something to do for those 30 minutes or those 15 minutes or however long the time is allotted for
Got
that.
it.
That is actually my offering.
Got it.
It's the offering before the monetary offering.
Got it. Awesome. Great.
Yeah.
So, and you answered the question because I was going to ask you what worship is not. What is worship, but what isn't considered worship? And I think you answered that question already because so many people think too slow songs and too fast songs.
Yeah, fast is always praise and slow
Mhm.
is always worship,
Mhm.
but it's the lyrics that make the
Mhm.
difference.
Mm-hmm.
There are some slow praise songs,
Right.
and there are some upbeat worship songs. So it's based on the lyrical content and
Got
not just because it makes you feel good. So as a consultant, I do get to work with,
Got it.
like I said, praise teams, churches, even pastors. I have a workshop that I do that is geared towards everybody that has anything to do with Sunday morning worship.
Mhm.
That's the ushers, that's the parking, that's the
Ah.
media, how it all ties in.
And-
How one wrong word at the front door
Ooh.
can twist and turn the entire worship experience for that individual.
That could be that greeter or that usher.
Exactly. Exactly. So I come in and I work with the praise teams. I work with the ushers ministry,
Mhm.
whatever the church is in need of, just to
Awesome.
bring understanding. It's not,
Right.
I'm not showing anybody how to worship because
Got it.
that's a personal thing.
Got it.
And just because somebody has their hands lifted up
Mhm.
doesn't mean they're worshiping.
Got it.
And just because someone does not have their hands lifted up doesn't mean that they aren't worshiping.
Ah,
Because God is looking at the heart.
absolutely. Great. That is awesome. I'm so glad I got a chance to ask you that because people get so confused when it comes to that and don't know. And as far as the key element as being a worship leader, not from you, but from watching others or what is the key ingredient to make a good worship leader?
Ooh, it's definitely number one, a relationship with Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Two, knowing that perfection, you're not looking for that. Don't look for that. It's never going to happen. As long as we are in these bodies, we'll never be perfect. But embrace the imperfections.
Mm-hmm.
Let them serve as a reminder that God is the one that's called you and he's the one that's there with you.
Got it.
You're never going to be on your A game all the time.
Right.
Just know that you're his instrument, and when you stand on the platform, you're there to usher his people into his presence.
Got it.
It's not anything about you, so make sure that
Mhm.
your gestures and anything that you're doing, facial
Mhm.
expressions, don't draw attention to you,
Mhm.
but point them to Christ.
Absolutely.
So these are some of the practical things, and that's what I love about the worship consulting. I was led to do this because I attended a lot,
Mhm.
spent a lot of money
Right.
going to worship conferences, and I always left there saying, yeah, but what about these
Mhm.
rehearsals?
Mm-hmm.
What about the Sunday mornings when you just don't feel up to it?
Mm-hmm.
What about when you're giving it all you got and you've got people looking at you like this and you're giving God all the
Right,
praise?
right.
And I began to spend time with God, and he began to show me. And so I was ready to share this, and that's all I'm doing. I have a couple of training videos that I put out there as feelers, and it just has taken off. That's why I get a lot of calls.
Great.
They see the videos and they say, what I love about it, it was practical, it was humorous, because it touches on some real things. Simple thing is keeping your eyes open. A lot of people think, especially in worship, slow songs, you just gotta, and you gotta look so ugly. It's because you really mean it.
Right.
But I teach that the eye contact will draw the people in, not to you, but they'll draw them in to be engaged
Got it.
and to interact with you
Gotcha.
and to worship with you. Dr. Bradley Price, it was a founder. He's actually was the founding pastor of Camino Church at the Way. Said something to me, and he just passed away in June. But he said something to me that has propelled me now to continue. Because I can be honest, there are times you just want to just
Right.
give up. Especially when things are happening all around and you just can't, you don't have any control over them.
Right.
But he said to me, Cassandra, you have the ability when you're leading worship to touch that person in the back row, way in the back row, and engage them in worship. And they don't feel like they're in the row worshiping. They feel like they're right next to you worshiping with you.
Wow.
And that's what you want to do as a worship leader. It's not that you're standing in front of the people, even though we do that. And you hit on my passion. This is my passion. I'm gonna let you shift gears.
No, you're fine.
But that's the reasons we have praise teams and things in front is because we're human. Humans want something to focus on.
Right.
If Jesus was leading worship, he'd be up there. And so if he's saying, "Come on and praise the Lord with me,"
Right.
we're there in his stead.
Right.
So that's all we're doing. Technically, that's what we're doing. But in the spirit, if they could see that the praise team, their backs are turned to them, and we're worshiping together. It's not, we're telling y'all, come on, put your hands together. Clap them. I don't know. I can't stand when people say that. I don't know what you came to do. You don't. I came to praise him like you did.
Amen. And the funny thing that you say, that the key word that stood out for me when you were saying what you said, that so many people don't think is a big job. You said usher. The job of the worship people is to usher in the presence. You don't touch it. You usher. You usher.
It's like facilitating a date.
Absolutely.
If I'm introducing you to the person that you're taking out, I'm saying, Robert, this is such and such. Such and such, this is Robert. And I give you a moment. So I, as a worship leader, I'm saying, God, here are your people.
Got it.
People, here's your guy. And they have their time together. We're to facilitate it, to usher, making sure that everything, that the atmosphere is set. I haven't chosen songs that got too many words. That's too hard for the people to catch. I haven't worn something
Got it.
that's drawing more attention towards me than giving attention to God. My attitude is right.
Yeah.
I didn't come out and I'm fussing at the people because, backstage, somebody just, before we came out, somebody said something that just ticked me off, and now I'm coming out and, come on, let's praise the Lord.
Got it.
So it's the responsibility of the worship leader and the team. I don't want the team to think it's all on the worship leader. Everyone who stands on the platform leading worship, you're a worship leader.
All right.
And all eyes are on you. So what you do is going to either make or break that worship experience.
Got it. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. And when I said to you earlier that I heard you before I met you, your song No Matter.
Okay.
I heard it on the radio. Didn't know who sung it.
Wow.
And I was working a corporate job at the time that was very trying. And I YouTubed that song, and I played that in my earplugs at work. And that song is awesome. I went back recently before the interview Saturday to listen to that song again. How does it feel to have a song such, No Matter, that is timeless, that you can listen to it anytime, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and it still be relevant?
Thank you.
Absolutely.
It leaves me speechless. Right now, the song itself, the way God gave it to me, was in a tough moment.
You wrote it?
I wrote it.
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
In a tough moment. In one of those moments where I really just wanted to give up. I will tell you, not ashamed, it was a Sunday morning. I'm getting ready to go out and lead worship. And when I tell you how things happen right before you go out, something happened that I was unable to go out and lead God's people. And, whoo, I was upset.
Wow.
I was hot.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there and God was saying, it's easy to praise me when everything's all right. Because my mind at that moment was not set to, we give you glory, Lord. My mind was like, you know what? Let me see him outside.
Right. Wow.
But the song came in that moment. And the first time when I went into the studio to actually record it, it was more of a worship session than just recording the song. Okay. So no matter what, doesn't matter what's happening. And I try to touch everything, what, where, when, and how. And
absolutely.
God, he moves through the song.
Okay, great. So we're going to take a break, but before we take the break, can you tell the audience about the song that we were just talking about? what they're getting ready to watch.
All right, stay tuned. You are actually going to see my official No Matter video that was shot back in 2012. I pray that it blesses your heart. Be encouraged, and no matter what happens, you are the winner.
We'll be back.
It's easy to give praise when it's all right, and everything is clearly black and white. But what about those gray and stormy days? The ones that seem to truly test your faith. What else can you do? What more can you say? Just to make it through the day. Say, no matter what, no matter where, no matter where. If nobody else is there, I know God is always there. And no matter why, I have to go through it. And no matter when, it's gonna be over. One thing's for sure, it's got to end. And no matter how he sees me through, I know I will. It's easy to give praise when he comes through, and everything is working out for you. But what about those days and nights you pray, and nothing ever seems to go your way? Well, this is what you do, this is what you say, that will help increase your faith. Say, no matter what, no matter why, no matter where, no matter where I am, that God is there. And no matter why I gotta go through, no matter when, this storm has got to end. And no matter how he sees me through, I know I will. He's so worthy of the praise I give. He's worthy of all I have. You know why? God has made me victorious in everything. That's how I know. I know I will. I can feel somebody's faith increasing. They've made a decision that today's the day I stop crying and I start giving praise to God. I know that he's at the end, and he's already set my end from the beginning. I know I come out victorious because God says so. So begin to look at your circumstances. Say, no matter what, no matter what, no matter where, no matter where. I know that God, see, I know that God is always there. He's always there, and no matter why you gotta go through it, the good news is you're gonna get through it. And that storm you're in, it's gotta end. Say it again. No matter what, no matter where you find yourself in life, you gotta believe within you. God is right there. And no matter why you have to go, press on through it. Cause at the end of the storm, there's your blessing. No matter what, no matter where, I know my God, he's always there. And no matter why, no matter when, I know this storm has got to end. Bring it on, devil. All I can say, it doesn't matter what you do to me. Doesn't matter how hard you press against me. I'm the victorious one because my God is there. No matter why, no matter why, no matter when, no matter when, I declare today it's gotta end.
Welcome back to the Praise Cafe show. I'm still here having a great conversation with Miss Cassandra O'Neal. I'm still, you left me speechless on the first half. So anyway,
wow.
Now I want to talk about your new project that you have coming out. And can you tell us a little bit about that? What's the name of it?
It's called Once Again, Otra Vez, because it's actually a bilingual CD. this is something that's just been in my heart and in my passion. I never understood why I fell in love with the Spanish language. Now, I did not learn it in school. I took it, we took Spanish. You did enough to pass.
Absolutely.
And that's what I did. But as I was teaching, I used to teach a Bible study for the women's jail. And I would come in every Saturday, and I noticed a lot of Hispanic sisters were coming. And I'm like, now I could read it, but no understanding. That's just because I learned the alphabet.
Right.
Long story short, I felt led by the Spirit to actually go and purchase a Spanish Bible, just like my English Bible. And I was going back and forth, looking at the scriptures. And within a week, I went back to that jail, and I taught English, Spanish, back and forth. And one woman came for salvation, and she was Hispanic.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, okay, well, we're on to something.
Absolutely.
And every day I tried to learn a new word, new phrase. And so I just began to meet Hispanic people, and I'm going to give all the glory to God for the language.
Right.
So it's just been in me to actually to sing and minister in Spanish. And actually I have been able to do that because of being bilingual.
Right. Wow. That is great. And it's I saw that on your bio that you are bilingual and you can do that. And you're with God giving you that, that's just an awesome chance to reach the masses.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's just awesome to be able to do that. And I just was speechless when you did. So when you did your CD release recently, where did you have that at?
It was at Camino Church at the Way in Concord.
Okay.
And again, to see the different nationalities. I'm used to being in a place where people are from different cities. This was people from different countries, and they were all there to support me. And then when we started singing, and now we're singing my songs in English and Spanish, and the entire night was actually bilingual. So if I said something in English, I had to turn around and say it again in Spanish, and it was just a wonderful, wonderful event. So I'm excited about the project itself. Again, it's called Once Again, Otra Vez, and 2 singles have already been released from the project. Back in 2013, I released the first single, which was Once Again, and I'm excited because it'll be on the project in English and in Spanish, totally. And but when I perform it live, when I minister it live, it's going to be in Spanglish.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Exactly.
Okay. Great. So you get a chance to do. Can you give us an example of going back and forth, of doing both? If you had something to say to our audience to encourage them, English and Spanish. Okay.
Well, in English, I would say, thank you so much for those that actually love and support my music. Muchas gracias para todos que encanta mi música y dame apoyo. Gracias.
Wow, great.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's great. That is awesome. I'm still speechless just at the concept, because you could just go so far with that, the music that you can sell. And I know it's not just about the sales, but just as I said, to be able to reach the people, that is a blessing within itself to be able to do that.
And I see that it's actually a part of God's plan. 3 times God has said something to me, and I have that same Bible. And actually the Bible that I use now is Spanish. I've been carrying this Bible since I bought it. So it's been about like 15 years ago. And 3 times he said to me that I would be a national worship leader. And I'm thinking, because I had my plan was laid out. It was laid out. Sure, I was at a church that's a mega church, and of course the pastor and his wife, they're well known. The plan was, as they go, surely they're going to call me, and I'll go and I'll lead worship. That was the plan, but God shifted that thing.
Wow.
And so it's rather than me actually headed out to the nations, God has placed me in a place where the nations are there. And now my music has gone into countries, and this is why it's international, because now it's in Latin America, it's in Canada, UK, and all these other places where I haven't been yet. But God will go and prepare a place.
Absolutely.
While he's preparing the person.
Right.
So I'm just, wherever he sends me.
So
I just feel that it's a part of God's plan being fulfilled, and I'm just glad to be here to be in it.
Right. So your CD release party, was that like an upper room experience?
Oh my goodness. You have to ask somebody else, because I'm going to say, yes!
Well, I mean, the different people, the
It
languages.
was.
I mean,
It was. I was. It took me 2 days to actually go fall asleep because I was so
Wow.
revved
mhm,
after the experience. But it was amazing
mhm.
to stand and as we were recording the He Reigns / El Reina music video, just to see the different people around
Mhm.
singing in English and Spanish. I can't wait for the video actually to come out
Yeah.
because it to me it speaks of the energy that was in the room that night.
Wow. So He Reigns. That's gonna be your.
That's
your
the single. That's the single that actually has already come out. It came out June 20, the week before the conference,
Got it, got
the
it.
concert.
Okay. So and the video. When does that come out?
We're looking to be done with that in the next 3 weeks.
Mhm.
So as soon as it's out, trust me.
Got it. One thing I do remember hearing, this particular project, is it funded by you?
Yeah, because I'm an independent artist,
Mhm.
don't have a record label, and
But you were at a label.
I was for 2 years,
Okay.
and we just let the contract run out.
Got it.
And
Okay.
I think it was a part of God's plan
Mhm.
again, because with the label, you are who they say
Right,
you are,
got
and you have to do what they say you have to do. And I just felt God continued. If he didn't want me to sing in
Mhm.
Spanish, why would this be so heavy on me? And
Right.
now, why did you place me in a place where I'm singing
Mhm.
and ministering in English and Spanish every Sunday?
Right.
Why am I working at a place
Right.
where I get to speak English and Spanish?
Right.
And it was just cool because
Right.
the Spanish-speaking people that are trying to learn English have to speak to me in
Mhm.
English, and I have to speak to them in Spanish. So it's
Got it.
just fun.
Wow. Great. So English, Spanish, the people are all the same. I'm sure you see, and that need. So with seeing that we're all the same.
Yes, yes.
We
Yes.
look different, but we're all the same. The need is the same. The spirit,
Exactly.
the need, the spirit, the relationship with
Exactly.
God. Absolutely.
One God being, praised. That night, that's what that concert was.
Mhm.
It was many different people from different countries,
Mhm.
but we all were there to praise one God.
Got it.
And we were just doing it in 2 languages.
Got it.
And it was electric. I cannot get past that.
Really? I know. So what was your favorite moment, or just you can't? Was there one?
Oh, gosh. I guess it would have to be when we were recording
Mhm.
the video for
Okay.
He
So you
Reigns.
recorded the video there.
We actually
Oh,
shot
wow,
it
that's
live,
gonna
so
be great.
yeah, it's different. It'll be, like I said, it'll be the Spanglish,
Mhm.
because the single that's out there now is all English, He
Mhm.
Reigns, and then it'll actually be on the album in Spanish as well.
Mhm.
I tried to give a good mixture.
Got it. So anybody in Spanish that may be watching that can't speak English, let them know about the show and your CD.
Okay. Well, is it going to be in the afternoon that they see it, or
8 a.m.
morning? In the morning?
8 a.m.
Well, buenos días, hermanos y hermanas. Este es el Café Alabanzas, o Alabanza, Café de Alabanzas, TV. Este es mi amigo Robert
Brock. Mhm.
Brock.
Mhm.
Estamos aquí hablando sobre mi CD, once again, otra vez. El video viene pronto, muy pronto. So, queda a esta estación. What station is this on?
And Time Warner 21.
And
Access.
Time Warner Access 21. Okay?
Got it.
Dios te bendiga.
Now, just before we end, thank you so much for your time. I will ask, based on all that you do and what you did for God, who is God to you?
Oh, gosh. And this is going to sound so cliche, but my everything. There's so much that's happening in my life behind the scenes, and what I love about God's peace.
Mm-hmm.
People don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
They can't tell it.
Mm-hmm.
So He has been to me, above all, I guess, my peace, my rock. That now these songs have, not that they didn't have meaning, but they have more, what's the word I'm looking for? A closer meaning.
Mm-hmm.
They're more than just words on the CD.
Got it.
When I talk about Him, once again, here I am in your presence once again.
Mhm.
I need a word from you. I need a touch from you once again. This is real.
Right.
And He has moved. And I just pray that the same thing I feel when I'm ministering a song, that people, as they're listening, like No Matter Touched You,
Absolutely.
that will happen for them, whether they're listening to it in English or Spanish, that they feel it. There are some Hispanic people who have listened to my music in English, didn't have any Spanish, but they say, I can feel your heart. Wow.
Absolutely.
So that's, God to me has been a peace, and he's definitely been a rock.
Okay. Now, where can we find your music?
Well, the new music, well, everything's, okay.
That's fine. You can tell.
Yes. Everything, all of my music can actually be purchased at all of the digital sites. That's iTunes, CD Baby, Rhapsody, Spotify. The new single, He Reigns, is also on iTunes and Spotify and the other places. I have a couple of videos, especially for those who are looking for worship training on YouTube. Here's all you need to do. You can just type in praise and worship training, and I can promise you, the first two videos that pop up will be Cassandra O'Neal videos. And if you're ever looking for some training, my email address is actually on those videos. It's on the mark, 84@gmail. I'm excited to be again here at the Praise Cafe TV. Thank you so much for inviting me.
I've enjoyed it. Now, as far as your concert, we have some footage from that, so we're going to actually be able to show some of that. So you all are in for a treat. You get a snippet of what she was telling you about. So we thank you for sharing that with us, and we thank you for your time. And I'm excited about the project. I have to go get it when it comes out. And again,
I'll make sure you get a copy.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you again. And I'll let you close us out and say, you got to do it in English and Spanish to tell our viewers thank you and whatever you want to say to them to close us out.
Well, thank you so much for watching Praise Cafe TV. Join us again every Sunday morning at 8 o'clock a.m. Muchas gracias para estando con nosotros y para mirando Praise Cafe TV cada domingo. Aquí en Access 21, which is Time Warner.
Yep.
Mira con nosotros.
Thank you.